Hi there. I am going to be starting a thru hike of the Appalachian Trail very soon, and food is going to be a huge part of my hike. It is going to fuel me, make me happy, and be a large part of what I think about during the day. So today I wanted to go over some of my favorite foods that I like to eat out on trail, things that I eat for breakfast, lunch, dinner, snacks, and dessert. I have spent years doing section hikes, and the food that you eat out on trail tends to be a little different than what you eat at home. You tend to want more flavor in your food, more spice and salt. Things just taste a little more bland out there. So you're also a lot more hungry and your standards go way down. I did a separate video about my cook system and food storage. If you want to check that out, I will be bringing a stove for the first part of my trip, and when it warms up, I'll be sending that home and just cold soaking my food and eating things that don't need to be cooked. That is the method that I prefer. I will get hot meals when I go to town every 3 to 4 or 5 days. I'll get fresh fruits and vegetables then. But these are my favorite foods to eat while I'm out on trail. They're all very simple and they taste great. Before we get started, I wanted to let you all know that I am vegetarian. I have been that way for 21 years. I do eat salmon and tuna, so you will see that in here. I really try to eat enough protein at home and on the trail to maintain muscle mass. And another part of my diet is I am highly intolerant to corn and corn products. That is high fructose corn syrup, cornmeal, maltodextrin, modified food starch. It's in a lot of food. So all of these I have specifically chosen to meet my dietary needs. So while you might not eat these, it'll give you some idea. Maybe it'll get you started thinking about something else you might want to try for your trail food. All right, for breakfast, I usually like to have something quick and easy to eat so I can just get on trail and start my day. On section hikes, I prepare a mix of this granola. I'll probably do it for the first part of the trail too, but I mix it with hemp seeds, chia seeds, sesame seeds, instant milk, and then I just add cold water on trail, and it's kind of like a cereal. If I don't have that, I'll have maple and brown sugar oatmeal or apples and cinnamon oatmeal. And to change it up, if I get bored, I can add in dried blueberries or raisins. Every morning I have 2 instant espressos. And then during the day, I really don't like to stop and take breaks. So I put all my snacks for the day in my fanny pack. I will stop for 30 minutes or so for lunch. So I do put that and my dinner in the mesh pocket outside of my backpack, so I don't have to go digging in my pack during the day. But all of my snacks and things that I'm going to be munching on are in my fanny pack with an easy reach, so I don't have to stop. So the morning snack, or you could call it second breakfast, is usually a bar, and it might be 2 when I get hungrier. My absolute favorite is the Cliff Bar. It's peanut butter, banana, and dark chocolate. And I also love these Pro Meal Bars. They are peanut butter and chocolate chip. These are 400 calories for one of these. That's another thing about eating on trail. You want the calories. A little different than home life. The RX bars, I like all the flavors really, but my favorite is the chocolate sea salt. And the Go Macro bars, these are also good. And my favorite, of course, peanut butter chocolate chip. Then I like all of these fig bars. You can tell because I have almost every flavor they have. Blueberry, raspberry, apple cinnamon, and strawberry. I also have Lara bars. You can guess what flavor. Peanut butter chocolate chip. And then the That's It bars. These are just bars of fruit. That's all that's in there. For lunch, I usually have 2 tortillas, and they are filled with peanut butter. I'll probably switch to peanut butter. They come in squeeze packets now. I got these to start, but I'll probably eat so much of it that I'll just get a squeeze packet when I resupply. And then a packet of honey. And I crunch these up for texture and stick it in the tortilla. I have that. Or I make a mixture of beans and rice. I did a separate video if you want to check that out of cold soaking recipes. It was probably 6 months ago when I first started my channel. But it does the granola, it does the beans and rice, it does chia pudding, oh, and the couscous tuna recipe that I make. You can check that out. But I add in nutritional yeast to that, and I make my own taco seasoning because, of course, the packets that you buy have corn in them. If I don't have that, I will have a tuna wrap. And the 2 flavors that I can eat are lemon pepper and hickory smoke. I remember at Standing Bear about a year ago, it's a hostel right when you get out of the Smokies. I was talking to a hiker. She looked like a thru hiker. She was very knowledgeable. She told me about this flavor and she said, that's the way to go. So I went home and bought it. I was like, how have I never tried this before? It's so good. I could eat this every day. And then I also got a whole box of mayonnaise packets. I do eat eggs. I'm not vegan. So I'll put mayonnaise packets in my tuna wraps. And then I have these pasta and bean bowls that I could either eat plain or in a wrap. So that's lunch. And then right after lunch, I'll put an Element packet in my shoulder water bottle. These are electrolytes I got. So this looks like a lot. It is a lot. But I've been buying these for about a year with discounts and buying them in bundles. So they were at a discount. They were not that expensive. And these do have citric acid in them, which can be made from corn. But for some reason, these don't bother me. I don't know if it's because it's not corn or they're just diluted. But those are fine. My snack after lunch is usually something salty. I like Cheez-Its and sea salt and vinegar pistachios, macadamia nuts, cashews, and then this Power Up protein mix is good. I like to add in some chocolate chips just to make it a little fun because eating nuts all the time can get kind of boring and dry. I do like dried mango. Tastes like candy. So good. And then these applesauce packets. They're really heavy, so I'll probably only have them the first day or two out of town. But that's my afternoon snack. And I do have dessert sometimes after lunch. I'll go over the desserts at the end, but I mix them up. Might have them after lunch or after dinner. So dinner when I get to camp is either a dinner that I have made myself or a prepackaged dehydrated meal. And I have a variety here of ones that I can eat that don't have meat and don't have corn products. These are the Backpacker Pantry Cuban and coconut, black beans and rice. And they're lasagna without meat. My favorite packaged backpacker meal is Peak's Butternut Dal Bhat. So good. And then I have a couple of good to-go meals. They're kale and white bean stew and Thai curry. I would never eat Thai curry at home, but out there, the flavor tastes amazing. And then Kathmandu curry. This is Nomad Nutrition. Wild Zora's Greek Garden lentil and Baja citrus lentil. And then Farm to Summit green chili mac and cheese. I might eat those just as they are. Now, a lot of these are 2-person meals. I've never eaten a 2-person meal. So I'll need to repackage this into 2 meals to start. Probably later on I will. But to start, there's no way I would eat the whole package. Because I also add in tuna or salmon. The white albacore tuna without a flavor. Or wild pink salmon with olive oil. So I add one of those in. And then I also have instant mashed potatoes, so that's really good with tuna. And I love peas, so I got a whole can of dehydrated peas. One of my favorite meals at home is mac and cheese, tuna, and frozen peas. So I recreate that. All of the mac and cheese meals that come packaged have modified food starch or cornstarch in it. So I have made my own mac and cheese. I'll do a separate video showing you how I make that. And red lentil dal, that is also really good. I'm making that. And then I'm working on a third one. I'll show you guys my dehydrating process and how I package those up too. But I also got this package of just random vegetables to throw into these meals. I really do love vegetables and I'll miss them. Then I got olive oil. I'm not going to bring the whole thing because it's freaking heavy. But I'll have about an ounce a day with dinner. I'll repackage this into a smaller container. And then I got this greens blend from Amazing Grass. If I don't have fresh vegetables with my smoothies in the morning, I usually put spinach or kale in. If I'm out, I'll put this in there just so I have some kind of greens. So that's what I'll do, not with breakfast, but with dinner. So it makes your food look green so it doesn't look appetizing. But if it's in one of these, you're not going to look at it. So I'll get my vegetables and won't have to look like I'm eating grass. I also have these recovery mixes from Tailwind. I have these after every workout on the way home. It's a mix of protein, carbs, and electrolytes. It's 20 grams of protein, chocolate, tastes really good, and just helps you recover after a long day. For hot beverages at night, I do have hot chocolate. Got these little individual packs and this big bag, which for the first sections, I'll repackage that. And then I have decaffeinated black tea. If it's really cold and I don't feel like drinking hot chocolate, I can just have a cup of tea. All right, desserts. The most important part of your day. I have this is the same brand as the Fig Bars. It's Nature's Bakery. This is their double chocolate brownie. It's really good. Again, your standards go down on trail. It doesn't taste like an actual brownie, but when you're out there, it certainly tastes good. These Little Secrets dark chocolate sea salt wafers. I like those. And then these Unreal desserts. This is dark chocolate peanut butter cups, kind of like Reese's. And then dark chocolate caramel peanut butter nougat bars. That's kind of like a Snickers. I say kind of because it's not corn syrup, so you don't get that amazing flavor of the sugar rush in your mouth. It's, what is it, actual sugar? Dark chocolate. Cane sugar is the number 2 ingredient. See, it costs more to use real sugar, which is why people put in corn products instead. But these are like M&Ms. They don't taste as good as M&Ms, but it's chocolate, right? And then what I make on my section hikes, and I will make these to start, is the chia pudding, and that's with protein powder, cacao powder, mini chocolate chips, and chia seeds. I also mix in milk powder, flax seeds, and hemp seeds to this. It looks like pudding, but it's really healthy. So I love my lists. You better believe I've got lists going of food. I have breakfast, lunch, dinner, desserts, of course. And then I'm starting a shopping list because I feel like when I get to town, I'm going to be so tired. I'm not going to be thinking straight. And I need to start a list of foods that I just want to get in, grab, and go. So I've added on here boiled eggs, avocado, salad, spinach. Of course, I'll need more tortillas, more nuts. In the beginning, I can bring cheeses. So I've added aged cheddar, Parmesan, and Gouda. That's so fabulous to add to anything or just eat plain. Apples, oranges, baby carrots, applesauce, cucumbers. And then the first day back on trail, I can have like Subway sandwiches and the eggs and all that. Like the heavy things I would eat within the first day or two. And then I have meal ideas. So that's all of my favorite food that I like to eat for breakfast, lunch, dinner, snacks, and dessert. I will be doing a separate video showing you how I make the dehydrated meals that I'll be bringing, and I'll show you how I'm packing my resupply boxes, what my strategy is there. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time. Bye.